full-circle tour of the Magic Kingdom, with stops at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland, followed by a visit to the Grand Canyon and Primeval World. We got a lot of traveling ahead of us, so remember, for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please, watch your children. Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias. Did you folks hear that? Sounds to me like we've reached the wilds of Adventureland, where you just might run into a lot of savage critters out there, including lions and tigers and tiki birds. Everybody best be on the lookout. You never know just what may show up. We're approaching our first stop, New Orleans Square Station. This station serves Frontierland and New Orleans Square. This is New Orleans Square.
This will be your nearest exit to Haunted Mansion Holiday, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Indiana Jones. Once again, please watch your step
and legs inside the train. And please, watch your kids. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. We're now passing over the children turn around, wear there, make their homes, and embark on fun-filled adventures. Although this land was made for critters, human-type folks are always invited to stop in to visit us. We're traveling along the rivers of America and into the American frontier as it looked more than a century ago. This area is so rich with natural beauty and wildlife, you can see why the early settlers were inspired to move west. You're seeing this view just like many of them did, from the comfort of a genuine steam-powered train. When these iron horses first started crisscrossing the country in the 1800s, the time it took folks to reach the west dropped from months to many days. Why? Steam-powered fueled trains are the dreams of a whole new generation as they settle this great frontier.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad as we steam towards our next stop, Mickey's Toontown Depot. At Mickey's Toontown Depot, you'll have access to Mickey's Toontown as well as Fantasyland. You'll have plenty of lots of fun and activities for you to do. Some of the events we've got going on today, the Parade of Dreams will be stepping off from Mrs. Small World at 3:30, and again at Main Street, USA at 7. The Fantastic along the rivers of America will start at 9 o'clock and 10:30, and above the skies of Disneyland, we have our fireworks spectacular program at 9:25, which causes Mickey's Toontown to close at approximately 8:30. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until we come to a full and complete stop within the station. On behalf of myself, Alberto, Jennifer, Conductor, and we'd like to thank you for using the Disneyland.
Next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station from Mickey's Toontown. This is also the nearest stop to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you'll be leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Y'all have fun and say hi to Mickey for me. For those of you continuing on, hello everyone, we resumed for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please, watch your kids. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias. As we steam on through Fantasyland, you may want to take one more look at the majestic Matterhorn Mountain and the happiest cruise that never sailed. It's a small world. Ahead of us lies the future. Well, I guess we all know that. What I mean to say is, Station. If you'll be leaving us here, just stay seated till we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings and step carefully from the train. Thanks. Have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
If you all don't mind, we're going to take a few days detour. We're going to the Grand Canyon. And hopefully you guys have all adapted to time travel. So we're going to do some time traveling here. Going back in time to the age of the dinosaurs. If you're not adjusted to time travel, symptoms are nausea and lightheaded.
To those joining us, welcome aboard. The next leg of our journey will take us along the rim of the Grand Canyon. It's a mighty long drop to the canyon floor, so for your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Be sure to watch your kids and no flash pictures, please.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños.
Steaming back to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you'll be leaving us here, stay in your seat till we come to a full stop. And remember to gather all your personal belongings, including the young'uns if you got any, and step carefully from the trains. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland. We surely hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back and see us again real soon. For those of you traveling on, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA. Those of you traveling on, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes.